Welcome, welcome, VA family. My name is Joyce DeVault here at the Atlanta VA Medical Center, where we are celebrating our Native American Indian Month. And we thank you all for joining us. You just sit back and relax. You are in for a treat. We have two special guests. And before we get started, I just like to thank you all again for tuning in on Teams and for coming out and sitting here and enjoying a beautiful presentation that you'll see. Okay, right now we're open with a prayer from one of our guests, Miss Cheryl Broadway, known as Miss Sunflower. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. If you will, please join me in your way of prayer as I offer a Native American Thanksgiving address or prayer. Lord God, we look at your world and we praise you for your diversity all around us. Thank you for the gift of relationships, our connection with people, animals, and the land. Help us, Lord, to see our differences and diversity as strengths. Help us to listen and understand, to meet one another with wonder and anticipation. Help us to love as you love without expectation. Reveal to us your way of reconciliation and guide us into right relationships with all living things. Help us to listen passionately and to speak humbly and act justly. Help us to seek the peace, justice, reconciliation you desire among all of your children. And now we turn our attention to the medicine herbs of the land. From the beginning, these herbs were instructed to take away sickness. They are always waiting and ready to help us heal. We are happy for those that are still among us that understand and remember how to use these plants for healing. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the medicine and to the medicine keepers. Thank you for your mercy and your grace. Amen.
Thank you so much, Miss Sunflower, for a wonderful prayer. We learn something every day. And in that prayer, I've never prayed the way Miss Sunflower prayed. It was so beautiful. She connected with the land, with the plants. And when I pray, I'm usually praying for people and myself, family. And I have never included the animals and the land and the plants. So thank you. I'm going to start including that now. Thank you so much. So now, I'm going to introduce the other speaker, and Ms. Sunflower is going to come back, and that is Mr. Lorenzo White. Mr. Lorenzo White is known as Prophet Lorenzo, the Flute Prophet, and Native Lorenzo. Mr. White has lived outside the United States for 17 years. One place to mention, he lived in Israel. He was baptized in the Jordan River. Mr. White owns several businesses, chaired a numerous number of nonprofit organizations while serving in and out of the military's top secret clearance duties. Former U.S. military cryptographic equipment supervisor, repairman, medevac, dust-off EMT, expert marksmanship M16, former financial advisor, former certified estate planner, former ISO, Apple, Android developer, former insurance agency owner, a Native American Indian, flute player, 360 photographer, certified knife thrower, unique weapons trainer, self-defense instructor, certified Bitcoin expert TM, certified NFT expert TM, and virtual reality, augmented reality enthusiast. Mr. White's interest in cryptocurrency, blockchain industry, and the application it brings to the world. He's very interested in that. Mr. White has been in the presence of numerous individuals with very small assets to those with multiple millions. To Mr. White, they're all the same. Some desire more increase than others, seeking solutions to fulfill themselves. Mr. White became an ordained minister years later, getting the recognition of Prophet Lorenzo, preaching and teaching the gospel to present. Mr. White shares a confident, strong bond with his Lord and Savior and is used as a secret agent, going when and where, saying what he is told and doing what he's told to do by his Lord. So I'd like you all to welcome Prophet Lorenzo. Thank you so much, sir.
I was kind of wondering who she was talking about, but you know, they used to have a thing when I grew up. They used to say a jack of all trades and the skill of none. But a lot of places I went, a lot of things I did required certification. One of the things, you being in the medical field, you know, you always got to do your CEs, your continuing education. So it seemed like everything I touched had a CE to it. I said, can I ever get out of CEs? I'm in my 60s and I still got CE classes. When does it end? Some of them I got grandfathered in because they made a change. Others, you still got every 2 years, 1 year, whatever it is, requirement just like everybody else, which is good because new things do change, technology change. We come a long way from a cup and a string, and you have to abreast yourself with different things. Well, I'm here today to, out of all the skills I have in different areas, I'm here to celebrate Native American Month. I'm here with my sister. If she'll raise her hand, you just saw Sunflower. Meet me afterwards, I'll tell you how she got that name, it'll tickle you. This is her niece, granddaughter, which will make my great niece, and my beautiful wife, Linda, over there in the corner. Now, we just left Georgia. Unfortunately, I stayed here for 12 years. I was in Gwinnett County in Duluth. And like I said, we're getting up in age, and we say, well, we still got our faculties and nothing wrong. We're going to move to Florida. And in April, we finally made the jump. We've probably been down there 40 times anyway, so might as well go ahead on in and stay. But it's a pleasure to be here again. I was here last year, for a lot of you don't know. I'm still out on the trail, as they call it, the Powwow Trail, in and out of places. And in ministry, I still go different places. We know what's going on in the world. They mentioned I was in Israel. I have a heart for the people of Israel, the Jewish nation. Did get baptized there. Had no idea it was going to happen. God saw fit for me to get baptized. That was over 30-some years ago, okay? And I toured all over the country for months. So most of it was related to the military. They had me there on some assignments, sneaking around, having fun. Okay, so got one for you. One of the things that Native Americans do, are starting to do, if you see them on stage a lot more than just a maybe 20, 15-minute time, we tell a lot of old folk tales. That's what keeps us going. Most of them are lies. You got to kind of read between the lines because you don't know the truth. But one thing about our language, for those that kept it, and we're from the Meharian tribe, which is out of Hoskia, North Carolina. That's in Hertford County. We used to call it the home of the red bones. I came out 7 months, she was a 4-month baby. So you can see the color difference. But anyway, we don't cuss that much. Now we do now in modern times. So I was at a school event one time and a little kid said, well, what's the difference in your language and the American language? I said, well, we never had any profound language in the whole vocabulary of no tribe. So we didn't have the B's and the F's and all that good kind of stuff, okay? He said, well, what happens when somebody kick you or step on your toe? And I said, that's a good question. Then we use your language. So that's the way it goes. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead on here and introduce you to the flute. I got another one for you before I leave. But I'm going to introduce you to the flute. This instrument, the Native American flute, we did not invent it. Okay? 1600s, 1400s, we won't run around playing flute songs. They were being chased or chasing someone. So it wasn't a lot of flute playing. But when it did come about in their hands, there's a lot of folk tales from, oh, good gracious, from a typical one would be someone got lost in the forest and a woodpecker poked holes in a branch and the branch fell and he picked it up and started blowing and that's how the flute started. So you go online, you're going to see a million different versions of it, okay? But we do have it in our hand now. And it has provided a lot of Native Americans a way of stress. I consider it to be a stress reliever. for entertainment, some of the things I've been exposed to, other than using alcohol or some other substance, which we don't supposed to use, even though a lot of people are recommending it. I found that music smooths the savage beast in a lot of ways. I had played the animals that didn't like me, and they sat down and were still. Now, after that, I had to get out of the way. But you'd be surprised what music can do. Music is therapy to the heart. Now, we've had a lot of changes in the music industry. I'll give you an example. You probably won't find 4 true Native Americans making these flutes today. Now, there are hundreds of other people that might have been an engineer, they might have been in carpentry, and they get the design and the blueprint, and then they make the Native American flute. The problem we have with the Native American flute that most of us encounter is that they're tuned in now at a frequency of 440, if anybody knows anything about music. What I mean by that, now, like I told you, I'm in my 60s, some of y'all look like y'all in your 20s, okay? So what happened was, when I used to go to church, grew up in a Baptist church, believe it or not, wasn't forced, just had the family was legacy of Protestants. We could hear a tune in the church and hum it all the way to the house, and would never forget it. The music today, you hear it for 10 minutes, you get in the car, what was that song? Because they changed the frequency, and it went from a 432 to a 440. So just about all the music you listen to today on the radio is 440 standard digital music, which comes out of Europe. They changed the standard back in earlier than that. In the early 1800s, we adopted about 1939 and ratified a couple of years, and we went 430. Now, some of your great musicians, even Prince, John Lennon, they were at 432. That's why the music was so perfect. You see, I got a bag, got a Prince bag on it. So they played, Mozart and everybody else played music. All the orchestras was 432. We went to 440, which the memorization is horrible. First time I went to a senior home about 17 years ago, I played a flute and everybody was like, I'm like, damn, what's going on? It can't be that bad. The pitch and the frequency, most of them were probably 70, 80 years old. As soon as I changed flutes, they all calmed down. They was just as calm as they could be when the pitch was too high. Well, that's the same thing happens to our body when we listen to the music. The pitch is so high, you're actually more miserable and irritable inside coming to work listening to some music that when you cut it off, you can't even remember what it was. And you walking around like, what'd you say to me? Okay, so you can go to a thing, I'm gonna tell you, it's called 432 Conversion. It's a free app. You can take probably maybe 80% of your current music, lower the hertz from a 440 digital down to a 432, and in probably about a week's time, every 4 or 5 hours in that week, you will feel so much relaxed. Your heart rate will drop. Done it, studies, heart rate drop, irritability may go away for some people, not everybody. My wife tells me it don't matter what frequency it's going to be the same for me, but it do drop some. And if you want to study music therapy, it's a great field to learn about just for yourself. Maybe you can find it in one of your seed catalogs somewhere, get some credit for it, for continuing education. But look at the music therapy because it has a lot of benefits. Now, the flutes I have with me, because most of them are commercialized now, I have 432 hertz and I have the 440. So I'm going to show you the difference. And then we'll, still got about 8 minutes left. So this here is one of my bell flutes. These were made by the Navajo Indians. Okay? Very few tribes. There are about 6 million state and federal Indians registered out of the 100 million that used to be here. It's not a lot, is it? Right? I mean, none at all. They do about close to maybe 8,000 flutes per year they make. When COVID came around, they dropped down to about 500 because they couldn't get the supplies. Wherever they get the wood from, who knows, could be out of China like everybody else. So if you buy a flute online, Amazon, anywhere, more than likely it's going to be made by an American or somebody, it won't be Native American, unless it says made by a Native American. This is a 432, and this is how it sounds. 432. 432. Now, flutes come in every key. There is, if you play guitar, whatever you play piano, so we got A's, we got B's, we got C's. It's a basic root. So you can play digital music and non-digital music. You just have to get the flute. So this right here is like, for example, this is a G. So this is 432. Here's another 432. Now, flutes range from anywhere from $50 to maybe about $3,000 or $4,000. The $50 flute can sound just like the $4,000 flute. It just depends on the wood, who makes it and want to sell it. There is no difference, okay? Other than the cut wood and what somebody wants to charge, okay? Kind of like personal trainers. All of them don't charge the same price, but you're supposed to get the same results, okay? So this is an A, 432. Hold on. Well, I got the mic there. I got it. Because I know people. Sunflowers pushing me this way. Here we go. This is a A432. Now watch the difference. This can scare the dog away if it's too close. But it works perfect for digital music. So when I do backtracks, or if I was playing with someone that was playing a guitar or playing with a band, normally I would grab an 8/440 because the music aligns with the standard 440 pitch. Okay, here we go. That is what goes with the digital music. You won't remember it. Don't even try. Okay? It doesn't work that way. All right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to play. Normally when Native American, most of us are on anywhere between, I don't know, 20 to 40 flutes. We addicted to it. We go somewhere and we just buy them. Sometimes they give them to you. Here's a flute. It ain't worth 50 cents. We just throw it in the closet. Kind of like a toy box, but no, we treat it pretty good. We oil them. Do we do sacred ceremonies with them? Some of the tribes do. A lot of Native American tribes do not have a flute player, don't want one, ain't trying to get one. That's the same because they didn't invent the Native American flute. Now, your daughter, my niece, okay, she'll go somewhere and throw a tomahawk, let it bounce back with it someplace in a building where you do tomahawk. So when I said, well, I'll just go find a tree in the backyard and hit it. But they'll pay money to go throw axes and things of that nature. Do we do that? I did. I grew up in the Indian woods in Husky, and the backyards were my friends. I didn't love Bambi. When my father would come in the house and he'd go outside in the backyard, I said, run, Bambi. You know, because my father was an avid killer. He would kill more deers than the law allowed. He's passed away now, so you can't go lock him up unless you dig him up. But he probably killed maybe 1,000 deers in about 60 years and was only supposed to be doing about 4 per year in the state of North Carolina. So that was pretty, but it was plenty of deers in high school. We used to have a thing, if you weren't in the house before 6 o'clock and you didn't call after 8, you got in a wreck with a deer. And 9 out of 10 times we were right. Because on 11 and 13, that's where they live at. They party every night between about 9, 10 to maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then they'll go somewhere and sit down. Okay, so let's see what we got here. I'm gonna play a song, and just so you know, every year, January, it's not just the American Music Awards the Native Americans have it to, okay? Been having it for years. Very few people know about it. 90% of the people that play in the Native American music do not have to be, no requirement for you to be a Native American. No card holder, no nothing. No state, no federal. All you're doing, as long as it's Native inspired, you can do it. And we got jazz, we got people playing rock and roll, rap, you name it, and they're there. You can look it up, it's called the Native American Music Award. 90% of the people that win and participate are non-Native American. They'll grow a ponytail, they'll wear the shirt, they'll wear the shoes, they won't speak the language, they won't have a card because it's not required. okay, because there's not enough Native Americans participating in it. Native Americans, now, one more thing before I get up on the flute. I'm in Florida now. I have 2 daughters that live in Germany. Neither one is married. And I tell them, come to Florida to visit me. They used to visit me all the time. We go to Florida away. If you need a Tom Cruise, come to Jacksonville. Okay? All right? So it's 21 military bases in Florida. That's quite a bit, okay? But what people don't understand, there are a lot of tribes out there that do give a great stipend per year. Some give 0. Some still living with no water, electricity just because they want to. Like somebody might say, why does somebody live underneath a bridge when they don't have to? Somebody pull them away, not that they want to be that way. Not that someone wants to be in a trailer with no water, 10 miles up in the woods. Some people just like that. They got post-traumatic stress bad. Okay? But like the Seminole tribe down in Florida, to give you a tip, don't y'all run at the same time, male or female, the minute one of them turn on their 18th birthday, they're automatically giving $1 million. You didn't hear what I said. Automatic, giving $1 million. And they have a stipend of $100,000 a year for the rest of their lives. So, if you're looking for some money, don't think all Indians are broke. There are tribes up in the northern states. A lot of them are getting between, one tribe get about $1 million a year. They get $83,333.33 per month, every single month. Does that apply to all tribes? You can do the math. Let's take the Navajos, 375,000 of them. They have an office directly down the hall in the White House. You take the amount of money they get once they get all the expenses paid for. They got about 8 casinos and resorts they own. I think it equals out to each member get like $903 and some change per year. So they about to learn to grow their own business. Now, there's a lot of business entrepreneurs in Native America. Just got on the phone a couple of weeks ago. 3 guys got out of the Navy about 8 years ago. They were machinists. They got a contract with the Biden administration. They love giving out money now. Always have, which is a good thing. And they got a $3.5 million contract just to do some simple boats for Lockheed. Okay, so government contracting skills, Native American get a piece of it. Don't y'all get to go to school free? Yes, for those that want to go. There's even the state people can go to school free. What they do, and I tell it, this is live, I know, but the way they do it just like a foreign exchange student. They consider the Native American, especially the cardholder, to be indigenous or a foreigner, even though they're born on U.S. soil. And what they do is when they write it off, what they do is they insert them as a foreign rather than the U.S. citizen. And Native Americans do have the right, the ones that have a card, they can change their birth certificate and they will be no longer whatever race they were before. A lot of people, I will guarantee, in this hospital size, that probably 30% of you have some Native American in you, and probably maybe 5% of you qualify for a card. And you can't do it by Ancestry.com. That's controlled by the Mormons. Blood quadrum isn't 100% because that's a thing that they injected with federal Indians on it, don't apply to state. And we got some federal Indians that they can't even get cards because they passed 5 generations. So they have to wait till people die off, and then they'll move it up. So if I'm a fool or somebody else, that's how it goes. So moving on down the line, here's the song. They did call me talk a lot one time. My sister just reminded me. Chief talk a lot. They did inject that somewhere.
We still do.
No, see, there you go. That's what a wife would do. See? They say she tell the truth sometimes. Yes, she will do. This is a G at 440. time. Okay, last one. Some of y'all might be old enough for this one, even though you was young earlier. You might have aged since I've been here. When the Indians started getting prizes at the bank because you carried your money down there, they give you a toaster. Somebody said, hey man, come on over to the house. We got the brand new RCA flow marker. We still got the Zenith stacked at the wall. My mama got sound out on one and the picture on the other. She's got them stacked up on each other. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So one got the sound, the other got the picture. Well, anyway, they had an RCA. They also got the brand new and the iron board. They really had something going on. So my cousin was sitting in the chair. And next thing you know, somebody run and say, hey, what's the name here to go to the hospital? I said, what's wrong with him? So he gets to the hospital and we get, I said, what happened? Doc said, well, I don't know, let me find out. So he go in there and said, how'd you burn your ear? Well, everybody remember them phones on the long cord on the wall? For those of you old enough, the cord be like, I don't know, 2 miles long, but it was pretty long, okay? And they had a green phone. And he's sitting there watching TV on a brand new RCA. It didn't squirrel, so he really had the best one, okay? Anyway, the phone rung. He reached back, instead of grabbing the phone, he grabbed the ad. Because he had the ad board behind the couch watching TV on the new RCA like everybody else. So he burned his ear, picked up the ad instead of the phone. So the doctor said, well, what happened to the other side? Guess what? They called back. All right.
Thank you. Let's give them another big round of applause. All right. And I'm always wanting to learn something, and I learned a lot I learned that we now have a comedian Lorenzo, we have informational Lorenzo, and we have talkative Lorenzo now. All of which are so great and good. All of that great information about the flutes and the different sounds, and that some of them still, this is what I learned here. The 432, soothing, natural. I love it. And the 440 is that standard out of Europe, and right. And it's been around. Didn't know that Prince and John Lennon played in a 432.
If I could comment on one thing.
Yes, sir.
They tried to change it back, but the European music makers, what they did, they had already were in production with the new equipment to match the sound. They wanted to reverse it. It was too much money spent.
All right. Well, there we go. Informational Lorenzo. Thank you for that, sir. Well, I've enjoyed that. I hope you all have enjoyed it, and we're going to enjoy some more. But at this time, we're going to have Miss LaQuan Harris come up and introduce Miss Cheryl Broadway. Okay? Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Allow me the pleasure to reintroduce Miss Cheryl Sunflower Broadway. And in order to give a little background on her, she is a Native American fashion and jewelry designer, a sacred ceremonies instructor, and a professional training specialist for over 25 years. She has earned a BA degree in organizational management from St. Augustine University with honors, magna cum laude. She is a member of the Meherrin Indian Tribe of North Carolina. She is currently the Powwow Committee Chairman and a member of the Enrollment Committee. After studying under an Indigenous elder, Few Feathers, which is her mom, for over 50 years, and learning the ways of nature's medicine, she was fortunate to create a course, Sweetgrass Ceremony 101, to share with the therapeutic benefits of sacred smudging with students and staff at the University of North Carolina of Greensboro. This experience, along with her love of teaching, inspires her to educate others in living the sacred Native American way. So please, let's all give a warm welcome to Miss Cheryl Sunflower Broadway.
Hello again, everyone. I'm going to ask for a timekeeper because I am not going to hold you any longer because, as we know, Prophet Lorenzo, informational Lorenzo, has taken up your time, but much needed time. So first of all, I have to be in this setting, have to say happy belated Veterans Day to all the veterans, right? And so what I do want to talk with you about smudging just for a few minutes. So who's going to be my timekeeper? Because that's very important to me. Just give me a little high five, okay? And I'll wrap things up. But before I go into the smudging, I want to ask if anybody remembers when you were a teenager or a young adult and you burned incense for the first time. What was your intention to do that? Okay, some say cover up the smell, and some says create the smell. Well, I remember as a young teenager going to the local bookstore and buying black cherries, incense, and going home and filling my room with the essence. It instantly lifted my spirits. However, my mother felt a little bit different. She thought I was getting high somehow from the fumes, or perhaps covering up something. Well, with Native American, this is our common culture that we do something called smudging, right? And it's about burning sacred herbs to create an aroma, create an atmosphere that you want. Maybe even clear an atmosphere that you do not want. So the term smudging, that's just what it means. Burning sacred herbs. And I'll talk a little bit about those, and then I invite you to please come up and experience these herbs. Of course, in this setting, I can't burn any, but just the aroma from the natural scent, I think your spirits will be lifted. Okay? All right. So many New Agers today smudge, not just Native Americans. People do it for various reasons, as I talked with someone earlier, and they do it when they go to a hotel room to clear that space. Right? But it's a common practice among many people, but it certainly is a Native American tradition. There are several herbs, 3 of which I'm going to talk about. Sage, very, very common. It's used to dispel negative energy. And then there's cedar, okay, the cedar trees that we take for granted. Cedar is growing very natural. It's an all-around blessing and cleansing herb. And then there is sweetgrass. Lots of people are not familiar with sweetgrass, but it has just that, a very sweet savior. And I think you will enjoy that experience. So sage, cedar, and sweetgrass are typically used by Native Americans to smudge, to burn, depending on what it is you want to do. Now, sage is, like I said, is the most common and used generally in the Native American community to start a ceremony, right, or end a ceremony, or somewhere throughout that encounter. For thousands of years, incense, or the smoke from herbs, has been used in spiritual religious settings. The Catholics use it. Many other religions use it. And then, as I said, just everyday people use it for various reasons. But the elders in the Native American community often use sage because it was most common available, right? There is some research for those of you that want to know about the technical aspect or scientific research about smudging. It can actually work as an antiseptic. The study that was published showed that about 94% reduction of bacteria in a room can be cleansed. Now this was done, the study was done over a period of 1 hour, and you really wouldn't want to smudge for an hour because it probably set off the smoke alarm in your surroundings. But it is shown to clean that bacteria out of a space, right? And again, with sage particularly. So when and why use sage or smudging? You can smudge yourself, right? You can, there's an aura that you want to eliminate or an aura that you want to create for yourself. So you can smudge yourself. You can, again, as I mentioned, you can use them at the beginning of a ceremony or gathering, any sort of gathering. And then if you have instruments, such as the Native American flute, you can smudge those instruments. You can smudge anything that you like, right? And then with smudging yourself, you may want to consider that create your own practice and your own ritual. Because if you think about traditions, they are born out of practices that are passed down from generation to generation. And the reason why they become traditions is because people believe in those practices. So I challenge you, I urge you to create your own practice, your own tradition. Smudge yourself, smudge your dog, your cat, your animals, your everything that impacts you. And I like what someone said about the prayer. It's not just people. When we think about this world collectively, right? Everything that's around us. Now, I must say, as I said already, I can't smudge in here, but I did smudge myself on your behalf and everything that I'm presenting to you today. So one thing I wanted, before I do a little bit of demonstration, I want to tell you in 4 simple steps how to smudge. Well, first of all, you would need to gather your materials. And again, sage, cedar, or sweetgrass are very, very common. Now, I'm not going to go a lot into it, but tobacco is also considered a sacred herb or medicine. And with tobacco in the Native American community, it's believed that the smoke send up the prayers to the Great Spirit. But I'm not displaying that for today. I want to talk about how to smudge at this point. 4 simple steps after you've gathered your materials. Set your intentions. That's very important. You want to set your intention of why you want to smudge. It could be release stagnant energy, welcome a new beginning, or simply cleanse a space. Number 2, light the smudge stick and gently blow out the flames. Carefully wave the bundle, either with your hand or a feather, like so. I would light this bundle, this sage bundle, and once the flame is pretty good size, I would gently blow it out, and then it begins the smoke. And I can simply wave my hand, and you don't want to do it back and forth, you just do it in one direction, or you can use a feather. Feather's very light, it's going to carry the air, the smoke to the places that you would like for the smoke to go, okay? So you would light the smudge stick, gently blow out the flames, carefully wave the bundle with your hand or a feather so it burns enough to release the smoke into the air. Step 3, focus on what you're thankful for. And that's an individual task, right? Focus on what you're thankful for. Give thanks to the Creator for good health, for yourself, for others, etc. And step 4, once you feel you have released the energy or invited the energy that you had the intent for, you place the smudge stick in a heat-proof bowl or abalone, which is very commonly used. First of all, it's just beautiful to look at, but it is of nature, right? So everything is about nature. You would place your smudge stick in a container where it will be safely extinguished. And that's it, right? That's how you would smudge, all right? So what I would like to do now is just show you, am I okay? Do I have the high sign yet? Okay. I'd like to demonstrate and just show you as a visual some of the herbs that I was talking about. Generally, you see the sage bundles like this. Of course, they're dried, they're wrapped with a natural fiber, right? And they have a great aroma just to smell, just like the Native American flute. I'm sure you all felt the calm, right? Just the essence and scent of this can create that for you as well. So there's sage. White sage is very, very common. There's also something called blue sage. It looks a little bit different, not as bright white, but the smell, it's just as fragrant, okay? Then I mentioned cedar. Cedar, just from the cedar tree. Many of you probably have these in your backyard. You can gather them, you can bundle them, allow them to dry, and you get the essence of this cedar, right? And then I also have some cedar here that is not bundled. It is dried. You don't typically see it this way unless you're going to put it in a bowl or something, but you can certainly use this to cleanse the space and certainly burn this. It doesn't have to be bundled, tightly bundled. All right. One thing that is also commonly used are smudge sticks. This is the difference between a bundle and a stick. This also has infused oils, fragrances from the natural herb, and these can be burned as well. They're not as fragrant until they start to burn, but these are commonly used. One other thing, my favorite, the incense. Okay, I haven't left that. This particular one is sage and sweetgrass combined. And generally in the Native American community, though, we don't typically burn two at one time, right? Because if you're trying to clear space, invite space, you want that message to be clear, right? But this combination, very fragrant, very beautiful. Okay? And then sweetgrass, I do have it for you. I just don't see it on the table here. A little bit of story about sweetgrass. It's grown naturally, of course, and it's braided. And the braid has a significance. It's considered to be Mother Nature's hair, right? The care that you take with a young child as you braid their hair, that is the same care that's taken when sweetgrass is harvested and braided. And then it is used like the other herbs. One thing about sweetgrass, it does not burn like sage, right? It doesn't have a huge amount of smoke that emits from it. So sweetgrass is one of my favorite just because it is the least known, right? But it has been around as long as sage. So with that, I do invite you all to come up and experience the sage bundles and how they smell, how they feel. And I wish to say happy Native American Month to all of you and happy smudging. Thank you.
Wow. Lots of information for me. I hope everybody else got all that information. The steps for smudging. I don't know if you wrote them down, but I did. I'm writing down everything. That set your intentions. Light that smudge stick. Gently blow it out. Just don't blow it out. Fan flame it one way. Okay, got it. Focus on what you're thankful for. That's great. Once you release your smudge there, then place the smudge in a container that will just distinguish it. Thank you so much. And Avalonian. I love that little shell thing. I'm going to look for that. Thank you so much. I hope you all have enjoyed our Native American presentation that we put on. We really do thank our wonderful guests, the flutist, and all of his various prophetic names that we have learned. And we thank Miss Sunflower, Miss Cheryl Broadway for enlightening us on smudging, and we will have that opportunity when this is over to go up and smell that and just find out where you can purchase these items from if you would like them in your home. And we just thank you. We're going to close with our program manager of the Native American Indian Committee, and that's Miss Natalia Thomas.
I would like to thank everybody for participating. I really, really appreciate you, Mr. White and Ms. Sunflower. I hope to see you guys back next year, and thank everyone that attended online. I hope you guys were educated and received something from this. And again, I appreciate you guys. We have one more program, which will be November the 29th, and it will be in the Pete Wheeler. So hopefully you guys will be able to attend either in person or again online. So thank you guys, and I really appreciate you, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.